Dennis Tongoi. I'm the Executive Director for CMS Africa. CMS Africa is a mission agency that seeks to play its part in the Church in Africa to help the Church in Africa realize and release its resources for mission. Africa is a rich continent, but oftentimes we have not yet utilized our resources to the optimal. Within CMS Africa, one of the key things that we do is work with churches to, first of all, see that their mindset begins to conform more with what the scriptures talk about in terms of a biblical worldview, understanding our stewardship of God's resources, and understanding each person as being made in God's image. Our desire is for the church to play its role as a church, not just gathering people for worship, but also equipping people so that they can be scattered in the community to serve and advance God's kingdom in every sphere of society. In Machakos, we've identified one of the opportunities there as utilizing the resources that Machakos has, which is cows. And we have worked with church leaders to train the church leaders to begin to disciple the congregations, to see themselves as stewards of God's resources, particularly the cows, and to work with a biodigester that helps to produce biogas. But our goal is not just the biogas. It's really seeing the Christians in that community being stewards and being witnesses in the communities, living in such a way that they share their lives with their neighbors, and through this sharing, demonstrate God's kingdom. Machakos was chosen as our first pilot project, and we identified our first missionary, really, from CMS Africa, Rachel Karanja, to go and work with communities there so as to begin to empower and equip leaders there to begin utilizing the cow dung. This is just the beginning of what we believe to be a greater engagement with the diocese. We recognize there are other needs the diocese has, but our desire is to come in and equip and empower the diocese so that it can have the capacity to address its own challenges. Already this was going on with Bishop Kanuku, but just CMS came along to build up on what was already taking place because the bishop was already committed to transforming the community and had several projects. We in CMS Africa desire to walk along people like Bishop Kanuku to see both the clergy equipped but also the church empowered to reach out to its community in holistic ways.
I'm Bishop Joseph Kanuku, Diocese of Machakos, Anglican Church of Kenya. I thank God for the partnership between CMS Africa and my diocese, which was introduced by Dr. Dennis Tongoi. We have managed to achieve several projects and training such as a Vision Conference, Farming in God's Way, successful ABD projects, biodigester. Already we have done 23 biogases plants which are functioning. We have seen the impact that has been felt by the community, especially in the lower eastern Machakos County and Makueni County. And we are in the process of getting 13 more units in Makueni County, that is Kalanzoni. We hope to construct more if we get funding, because the community has given their contribution and we are ready for more projects. Through this project, we have achieved the following. 1, an alternative source of energy. 2, conservation of environment. 3, job creation. 4, food security. This is through CMS Africa. And through economic empowerment, we are contributing so much to the community. We want also to thank Rachel, the coordinator. She has done it very well, and we pray that CMS Africa continues as we work together to promote livelihood of our people. May God bless you.
A biogas unit consists of three components. And this is the inlet tank. We have the digester and we have the displacement chamber. This is where the mixing up is done. The mixing up of water and cow dung in equal ratios. It is done, and the hard substances are removed. So the mixing is always done, and mostly it is better to do it using the hand so that you can detect the hard substances. You remove the hard substances, and then after that, through this pipe, there's an inlet pipe inside here. Through this inlet pipe, you just open the inlet pipe, and then the thing just passes through and goes to the digester. That one is for when you're mixing up, you have to block that one. The pipe indicates some of the substances they go through, and they are hard matters. So you have to block that one when you're mixing up, and then after you have mixed up, then you remove it, and the whole mixer passes through that inlet pipe, and it goes to feed the digester. This is the digester. It is an underground chamber, whereby when the mixer comes from the inlet tank, it flows through the inlet pipe. It just comes and feeds the bacteria which is inside this digester. This digester is a 6 cubic meters digester, and from there it comes to the digester. The bacteria feeds on it, and it builds pressure and pushes the matter which has been digested, and it pushes to the displacement chamber. Then all the slurry comes out from this side, and then it fills up here. And here there's another pipe. This pipe removes the slurry which is already digested, and this is ready fertilizer. Whatever you get out of here is ready fertilizer to use it for the farms. And then there is also a canal which is normally built, which takes to the holes where the gas is, where the slurry or the fertilizer is stored. This is where the other pipe that is fixed so that the gas which has been accumulated at the top part of the digester escapes through, and this is the methane gas which goes to the kitchen, which is used for cooking and lighting. Now we are going to see how they use it for cooking.
Yeah,
My name's Peter Mwanya Mutunga, and I reside in Kalanzon village. And I'm very happy today to have this project almost completed.
My name is Greenspan Bio. I'm a retired nurse. And the community asked me to bring some medicine here because the hospital is very far. It was little not in my mind, but when I saw the way they were suffering, I decided to bring drugs for them. And it has been of great help for them.
Okay. How many patients do you receive per day?
About 8 to 10.
10.
Yeah.
And biogas project, how do you think it's going to help you in your project?
I'm expecting biogas to be of great help to me in this clinic because I will have light.
My name is Colonel Retired Francis Ngui, and this is my wife. She is Anne Ngui. We are the owners which have been harvested from the greenhouses. We harvest, and really what you are seeing here is a product of biogas, because the fertilizer which comes from the digester is the one we use and we produce this tomato. Okay, as I was saying, this is the end product of the biogas, because the fertilizer we get from the biogas, we use it, and as a result we produce this. We started this project after we did some training, or we got some training on farming God's way. And one of the principles of farming God's way is diversity. So what we are trying to do in this farm is to diversify our activities. And one of that is the biogas, that we started after that training.
This beautiful desert grass, it has been improved by the biogas fertilizer.
Trade your heavy heart for a heart of joy. Celebrate what God has done. Join the song of praise as we gather. Celebrate the Lord our God. Jesus is our Lord. He is reigning. We declare His kingdom's come. Darkness has to flee in His holy light. Celebrate the Lord of love. All creation sings. Hear the oceans roar. Let the earth proclaim that Christ is Lord. Let the earth proclaim and celebrate. Trade your heavy heart for a heart of joy.
And I want to say how very greatly honored I am, Your Grace Archbishop of Canterbury, and Your Grace Archbishop of Kenya, and Bishop Kanuku, my dear friend, to be given this honor to just introduce very, very briefly what God has been doing here in Machakos Diocese. We in CMS felt that this is a day to really speak of what God has been doing, because we are actually a mission agency. But before I do that, I want to just introduce some of the people who have come with me as part of CMS. We've already been introduced to our chairman, Canon Francis Omondi. He's a very able chairman who has seen me through very many turbulent waters. We also have other board members. Canon Rosemary is also a board member here. She's wearing two hats here. And Nikita Lubale, maybe can be seen behind there. Just another board member who has also come to be with us. Maybe Nikita could stand up behind there someplace. Nikita. Okay, thank you. We also have with us as part of our team some of the staff of CMS Africa who will be around. But in a very special way, we also have the project promoter, who is a CMS trustee in the UK, Shona Pasfield. And Shona is somewhere in the back there.
Okay, Dennis.
Okay.
Just landed.
Okay, she just landed. Yes. Yes. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, brother.
Yes. I'm fine. So we'll be having in our midst the project coordinator, who's Rachel Karanja. Most of what I'd like to share with you is contained in the document which we're passing out. This was to save time. Your places are in a very tight schedule. But very briefly, let me just say that CMS Africa believes that the local church is God's agency for transforming individuals, families, and communities. And we believe that key to this transformation is not programs or projects, but people. And therefore, we have sought to identify where is God working, projects, but people. And therefore, we have sought to identify where is God working and how can we come alongside what God is doing. And this is how this project came to be located here in Machakos. It's because for about 6 years or so, we've been working with Bishop Kanuku, and all of his clergy had actually been through training on a vision conference, which is a training that helps empower the clergy and Christians with a biblical worldview in understanding God's intentions for all of creation. When Shona Pasfield approached me from the UK and shared about the strategic nature of this kind of project, she asked me, I'll not mention the country, one other country in Africa where we could go to But I told Ashona, please, there is one diocese and there's one bishop who is already engaged very, very fruitfully in the community. And I requested that we actually Bishop Kanuku. And we'd already been doing some work with Bishop Kanuku. He had already demonstrated a lot of engagement in environmental issues, but also his clergy had also been very much engaged in holistic engagement in the community. So we chose Machakos as a pilot for this project. And so what you're seeing here is one of the locations where we chose to put this pilot, and we were able to establish 20 different units, and right now there's several more units being built. Our goal as CMS Africa is to build the capacity of the diocese, not for us to do mission. It's to build for the diocese, capacity of the diocese. And particularly, we're seeking to build the diocese of the Uganda Community Services, the UCCAS, so they have the capacity to continue to multiply this. And again, for us, it is not just about development, it's about discipleship. How do we become better followers of Jesus in our world today? How do we respond to the creation mandate, the Great Commandment, and the Great Commission? It is more than just development. It is seeing the church becoming a light and salt in the community. So what you're seeing here today is really one example of one of those beneficiaries, Francis Ngui, who will be sharing in a short while how this has helped him.
I think. Did you manage to buy everything? Yes, good.
So we can now move so that we see how it works.
Once it is now eaten by the anaerobic bacteria, then it produces the methane, which, as I said, accumulates on top of the tank. What you can see now physically here is the inlet tank. And this is where we feed the cow dung into the digester. There is a pipe connecting here. There is a pipe connecting which goes into the tank.
You have this tank and all this setup. You say it's a simple technology. Average.
It's a very simple technology.
This is the lady who has been following that to make sure that work is done and mobilizing people.
She's a missionary.
She's a missionary. She's not in payroll.